Welcome back to another video on Ark Survival Ascended official PVE. Today we're gonna beat Alpha Rockwell. Recording this video took a little longer than I wanted, but this is due to the fact that I wanted to find a strategy that didn't include teksuits. We're going in with 6 players, 2 Rock Drakes, 2 Reapers and 2 Pyromanes. My idea was as following. I wanted 2 Rock Drakes in front of Rockwell with 2 players, only focusing tentacles and the floating balls. These 2 Rock Drakes are protected by 2 Reapers. The 2 Pyromanes work on the tentacles in the back. My plan didn't work the way I intended it, but I'll explain that when we actually get it started. Every player had a shotgun with them and about 1000 shells. The shotguns were all capped, 298 damage. The Rock Drake riders also had a pistol or assault rifle to shoot the floating balls. Me, being a Pyromane rider, I had a shotgun, pistol and an assault rifle. I'm wearing flak and I also had an extra riot set with me and some tech pieces just in case the fight went south and I had to finish with a tech suit. But this wasn't needed after all. Of course I also got some med brews, food and water. If you don't have access to the Pyromane DLC, you could always swap out the 2 Pyros in the back for another Reaper and another Rock Drake. For this fight you will need the following tributes: Alpha Basilisk Fang, Alpha Carkino's Claw and an Alpha Reaper King Barb, 8 Basilisk Skills, 7 Reaper Pheromone Glands, 7 Rock Drake Feathers and 20 Nameless Venom. You also need 3 artifacts: Depths, Shadow and Stalker. If you don't know how to get these artifacts, I also have videos on how to get these. But let's get into the Alpha Rockwell fight. As soon as we spawn in, Rockwell crawls out of his element water and the fight starts. 2 of our players disconnected. This meant we had to instantly shoot the first tentacles, because if we didn't, these tentacles would slam the ground where our 2 players were disconnected. As soon as the first 2 tentacles are down, I make my way towards the back tentacles with a second player on a Pyromane. We will be focusing the back tentacles. As soon as all the tentacles are shotgunned down, Rockwell will fall half into the water, and this is your damage phase, where all the players will be shotgunning him in the heart. The first phase is kinda easy, because you don't have Nameless or Reapers spawning around you. At this time we already noticed that the Rock Drake shotgunners were barely able to hit the tentacles or floating balls due to the hit registration, meaning the shots didn't register. So, change of plans. The Rock Drakes and Reapers paired up and started moving around. The Rock Drakes mostly focusing the tentacles and floating balls, while the Reapers protect them from the enemies spawning. And there will be a lot of enemies in the later phases. This is our first damage phase. Rockwell falls down and we start shotgunning the heart. In this first phase I make my way all the way to the front of Rockwell to help shoot his heart. But in the later phases you will see me just shotgunning the heart from behind. This also works. After every damage phase the tentacles are back and you rinse and repeat. But in the further phases, Nameless and Reapers start spawning. This is where your Reapers will protect the Rock Drakes. Since I'm on a Pyromane, I just bob and weave around while shooting tentacles. Like I said, if you don't have access to the Pyromanes, you can always put a Rock Drake and a Reaper in the back for the back tentacles. Another pair. I'm speeding up the video so you can see the entire fight but don't have to watch for too long. I will share some tips here and there, but I'm also adding chapters to this video. So if you already know enough, you can skip ahead to the next chapter where I will also show the health loss of our creatures, for example. You will see the Nameless spawning around me. Since I'm on a Pyromane, I just tank a little damage and I constantly run away from them. If you're doing the Reaper Rock Drake pair, the Reapers can handle the Nameless while the Rock Drake player can constantly keep shooting. We do all have a light pad on our shoulder, but me being a Pyromane rider, I didn't even use it since my Pyromane is fully leveled in health and the melee isn't decent enough to kill a batch of Alpha Nameless. So I just let him run around and I didn't bother with them too much. Whenever you get further into the fight, the tentacles won't only slam the ground, but they will also electrocute the ground. If you get hit by this, you will get dismounted. Pretty scary with Nameless and Reapers around, but before you know it you can hop back on your mount. But if you have a light pad, this one gets thrown off your shoulder too. I fully forgot, and this is how I lost my bulldog in this fight. You won't always have time to pick your light pad back up due to Nameless and Reapers, but the most important thing is that your character survives. So my bulldog was sacrificed to the Nameless. We did all bring a tech chest piece and boots. The reason we brought this is just in case when our mounts don't survive. If they wouldn't have survived, we could have flown up and kept shotgunning to not lose our entire kits. Now, keep in mind that when your mount dies, you probably will not have time to switch gear, because Nameless and Reapers are constantly following you around. So if you see that your mount won't survive, make sure to already equip your tech pieces before your mount dies. This way you can instantly fly up and keep shotgunning Rockwell. You will see me shotgunning the floating balls every once in a while. These floating balls will do damage to your mount, but also to your player. And they are no joke, they do quite the damage, especially the red ones in the end of the fight. So make sure to shoot them before they reach you. A pistol or assault rifle is handy when loads of them come your way. A shotgun only holds 6 shots till reload, while a pistol holds 13 and an assault rifle holds 40. So these are perfect for shooting those floating little gear breakers. Like I said in the beginning, in the first phase I made my way back to the front of Rockwell. But as you can see, you can also shotgun him from the other side of the arena. If your shots don't register, get another angle until your shots register. Same goes for the tentacles. No hit markers? Find another angle and try from there. At this point you can see that my Pyromane lost half its health. This is mostly due to the tentacles slamming the ground. That's why it's always smart to focus one tentacle first. As soon as you got one down, you'll have room to run around without getting hit by a tentacle. From this free room, you can shotgun the other tentacles without getting hit yourself. If you do try this fight with Pyromanes, I'd like to share something about the Pyromanes which I find really useful. If you end up getting stuck in Reapers, all you have to do is look up and do your Flame Leap ability. This will literally phase your Pyromane through the Reapers and you won't be stuck anymore. That's why I don't use my Flame Leap in the fight at all, but I keep it charged just in case I get stuck. Most of the time spamming jump won't let you out, but if you simply look up and do your Flame Leap, you will literally go through the Reapers and you can continue shooting. Before I forget, I also stream on Twitch. You can find me by my tag Gingerella with 3 A's in the end or in the link down in the description. Since my Pyromane lost a lot of health, I make sure to run around even more. This way my Pyromane doesn't get hit by Nameless or Reapers. The less incoming damage, the better at this point. I did lose my Bulldog during this fight because it got thrown off my shoulder and I didn't pick it back up. But we also lost one Reaper, but I will share those statistics in a bit after the boss fight. We've luckily reached the last phase because my Pyromane is really hurt. Now, the good thing about this is that we can clearly see what statistics we will at least be needing for this fight. The bad thing is, it made me very nervous. But all the tentacles are down and there we go. Last phase of boss damage and we completed Alpha Rockwell. I will not show the Ascension to keep spoilers out of the video, but I do want to give one more tip. Put all your gear and items in your tame. When you ascend, there's always a chance of crashing, and this way you won't lose your kit because it's safely in a tame. Don't forget to grab your element. From Alpha Rockwell you get 220 elements. So we put that in our mount as well and we get ready to ascend. Keep watching if you want to see the health loss of our creatures. The Pyromanes had 22 to 23k health. Mine was down to 1k and the second Pyro was down to 6k. So let's say you lose about 20k health on the Pyros. The Rock Drakes also had about 22 to 23k health, but also 124 saddles. One Rock Drake lost half its health and one almost all its health. So let's say they lost about 20k health as well. The Reapers had 30k health and one of them didn't make it. The Reaper that didn't make it had very low melee compared to this one. This one had 800 melee. So for the Reapers I recommend 40k health and at least 400 to 500 melee. I hope this video is useful and kind of gives you an idea of what you need for this fight. Of course this fight can be done way differently. There's multiple strategies for this fight, but this is how we did it. Don't forget to like, share and maybe even subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.